What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Culture 316 podcast. I am one of your hosts and producers, Jordan Nahisi.
Join with you, Miss Williams, the Miss Williams. Hi, people. Newly engaged. Per.
Newly
How are we?
engaged. No, I hate. Yeah. First of all, while Miss Willie is about to be somebody's wife, fun fact for y'all: I got engaged this past week. Um, got engaged to my girlfriend of nearly 4 years, Christina Jeter. Baby, I love you so much. I cannot wait to be your husband. But in the process, I have also accumulated a sore throat, as well as hold on, let me get my computer straight.
Pause.
Yeah, that's I'm not gonna lie, that sounded kind of crazy. Ooh, Jesus. Like process, I got a sore throat. That's nuts. Um, in the process, I accumulated a cold, so my voice sounds a little bit weird. But yeah, we still back at it again. But yeah, I'm newly engaged and I'm happy about it. I'm proud about it. You feel me? We out here. But on to the actual announcement of the show. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you're listening via Apple Podcast or Spotify Podcast, be sure to give the show a 5 stars. Be also sure to subscribe and share the show. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as well. This is how the show gets more views, more popularity. We got a lot to talk about today. Full Gear is this Saturday, live from the Kia Forum. Don't know if we're having a space yet, but we're going to find out. But we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get into the first topic of the show. So, first things first, reports have been going around that allegedly Nikki Bella, one half of the Bella twins, has been banned from being mentioned on WWE television. Now, ever since her departure and her rebranding to being Nikki Garcia, Nikki Bella has been very, very vocal about the mistreatment of women in WWE programming. So I kind of wanted to know from you, Mo, do you believe, number one, that this report is true? This is just a report. We don't know if it's a fact or not. I have to put that out for legal reasons. But if it is true, do you believe that this is true? And do you believe that it is tied to the criticism of the women's division by Nikki Bella?
If it is true, because this is like an alleged report that we found out yesterday, honestly, I really think that it does have to do with it just because she's been around for a long time. Like, I know that in terms of like when her career actually took off was a different decade, but she's been around since I want to say the Ruthless Aggression era. I know it had to have been before the Divas title came out, right? But she's been out for a minute, so she's seen a lot and she's been sharing a lot of stories. And I don't even like Nikki Bella. I don't at all, but she's been spilling whatever she's spilling and speaking up for not only herself but other people. That's obviously not a good look for WWE. It's not. And if I were them, yeah, considering everything that they done for them, I would wipe them off the face of the planet too. Just because, I mean, they gave these girls two reality TV shows, something that AJ Lee started with the Give Divas a Chance shit. They basically rebranded that concept and slapped it onto the Bellas and let the Bellas just go full-fledged and sprint with the concept of them starting this evolution, and left Miss AJ Lee in the background. And AJ Lee didn't even do the damage that the Bellas twins did. Y'all saw how they asked her. It would not shock me after all the shit talking they did for how much they gave the Bellas that this is their punishment. And they're at a point right now where it's just like, not for nothing, but they already established other people for us to pay attention to sweep them underneath the rug like they didn't even happen. They've done it many times before to other divas. I don't know why they thought they would be any different from it. I don't even think they care at this point, considering the conflict that has been going on with them. Because considering again, we got the 4 horsewomen who we're beginning to phase out of, and we got people like Bianca, Rhea, and all these other great female top stars to focus on. It's like the perfect time to just kind of just get rid of it. Get rid of it. Anytime they want to refer to the past, anyways, they go to Trish and Lita, for crying out loud. It's almost as if it's Trish, Lita, 4 horsewomen, the rest. They say fuck all the other divas. When have you heard about Stacy Keebler? When's the last time you heard about Stacy Keebler? Crying out loud, or Tori Wilson, or Christy Hemme. Like, we don't really talk about these people, and they done their own due
Hmm.
diligence for the company. I don't know why they thought they'd be different. So it's like cause and effect for me. But what
It's
do you think
very,
about it,
very
Jordan?
interesting that you mentioned that as far as the women superstars and like how do I say it? Just like the waves, like the generations of talent that are kind of in the women's revolution. So I think that
Right?
Soraya, the Bella twins, AJ Lee, even Naomi were kind of like that first period of the women's revolution. And then we transition into like the
Mm-hmm.
golden age, which was the four horsewomen. And then from there on, we saw Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, as well as others. So we're really on like the third wave of women right now. Since they've branded this kind of push for women's wrestling as the women's revolution, if you really think about it. So I think that this is a very, very interesting kind of like time for them, and Nikki being banned doesn't surprise me. I feel like if it is true, I think there's multiple reasons. One, I think that it is one of those things where maybe because she was being too critical, they didn't want that, considering that WWE kind of did a lot for them on their behalf. Also, I also feel like
Kind of.
because I think Nikki and Bree's mother either dated or was married to John Laurinaitis, and I think they
Yeah.
are still trying to cut off ties with the old regime in WWE in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like that's a way to kind of cut off that old regime, is to cut off kind of mentioning Nikki Bella, because you don't really hear about Nikki, you don't really hear about Brie, you also don't really hear about not AJ, but you don't really hear about anybody that was really involved with John Laurinaitis or anybody in the old regime anymore. So I think that that's another big part of it. But yeah, like I think that if this is true, this is a very, very weird circumstance because Nikki's right. Simultaneously, it's like you benefited from this, right? Like you had the shows, the brand
Mm-hmm.
deals, like all these other things, and you weren't saying these things, or at least you weren't as loud about it when you were getting all the perks. So I just find it to be a very, very interesting time to kind of spill all the tea regarding this. But I want to know what everybody else feels. Once again, you hear that crack in my voice. That I told you, my voice is crazy. It is a
It ain't
dry
moisturized
throat.
yet.
Okay, it is an unlubricated throat. All right. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Let us know about how you feel about Nikki Bella not being mentioned on WWE television, allegedly. But we are moving on because this past week, Tony Khan said that there will be a new AEW signing. That AEW signing will be appearing at Full Gear at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California this Saturday, and he will be signing that contract. So the streets have been rumbling. The streets have been trying to figure it out. Who is the mystery signing? So Mo, who is it? Who is it? Is it a girl? Is it a guy? Is it Will Ospreay? Is it? I don't. Let me know who you think.
Okay, so because I think that Tony Khan has a big ass mouth, if it was someone who we already seen before, like already performed in the ring, I feel like he would have just said that. He would have just said it and just had the regular ass announcement that he normally does. We already seen Will Ospreay mix it up. We already seen Ibushi mix it up. So to me, like I said, I think it would have been weird to set it up and wait till Full Gear and see that this person is signed as all and is all elite. I feel like if you want to announce someone at one of your major pay per views, you're better off like doing someone who nobody saw it coming or it has been
Mm-hmm.
widely anticipated. So I've seen a lot of clamoring about
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes, and it's possible. I mean, she did tease on purpose a video going around with her saying that she's going to be wrestling in 2024, and she kind of said it without saying it that she's basically not doing what she was doing with New Japan. Don't know what that is about. Don't know if it's a money issue, but I know one person who got money besides Vince. One person that got money
Mm-hmm.
besides Vince is Tony that could afford Miss Monet. So I want to
Mm,
say that it should be her, but I also want to ride off of Whitney's comment from the group chat that we have. Shout out to Whitney, by the way. She's great. I love her. I wanted to comment on the possibility of it being Dolph Ziggler because he said a well
mm,
respected wrestler. And Dolph has been around since like the beginning of time. He's like a fossil. He but he's like great. He's a great wrestler. He can handle any position. I think he's carried almost every belt minus the world titles, right?
mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
man could put on a show. He could put on a class. He could really work with anyone, and I feel like he could actually, oddly enough, work really well with the AEW roster. Because in spite of whatever age he's in, I can't even tell. That man is so quick, so agile, so athletic, and he sells his ass off. I think that'd be a great way to rebrand him because I don't think that for the time being that he was in WWE that he was handled properly. So I could see it happening. It has to be somebody who I feel like is a good wrestler and is necessary. And I feel like you could do something with Dolph. So I'm gonna go if it's a guy, Dolph, if it's a girl, Mercedes. But do you have a similar or different choice?
I am all in on Dolph Ziggler. I'm all in on Dolph Ziggler being the surprise signee. At first, the first person that came to mind was Will Ospreay, but his contract does not expire until the
Mm.
end of the year. Thus, he wouldn't be able to sign a new contract, at least legitimately. Uh, but I think it's Dolph. It's someone who's very high, like highly respected. I think every AEW fan knows Dolph Ziggler from his work in WWE. He is a well respected vet. He is very much, he gives me like Randy Orton. Like he's kind of like a Randy Orton esque performer in the sense that he does all the right things in the ring. I just feel like he just hasn't been given all of the right main event opportunities, but any opportunity he's been in, he's kind of made it work. And so I think that he would be perfect for this. I think that he would shine in AEW. I think he could work with a lot of the young guys. He could go down the Ring of Honor. He could be on Collision. He could be on Dynamite. He can work anywhere. So I'm going to go with Dolph Ziggler. I think Dolph Ziggler is going to be the surprise signee this Saturday. But I want to know what y'all think. Let us know in the comments below who is going to be the newest addition to the AEW roster at Full Gear. But we're moving on. So, on November 9th, it was announced that Vince McMahon was seeking to sell about 8.4 million shares, 8.4 million of his TKO shares at 76 and 41 cents an hour after a report on November 7th stating that Vince's participation in the TKO board was listed as a risk factor. So now with all this kind of into play, do you believe that TKO is officially getting rid of Vince? Are they getting rid of Vince McMahon? Was this the plan from the start? What do you think?
Um, yeah, I feel like they would, should, and can. I mean, WWE is like one of the biggest businesses and corporations out there. And literally, like this man is old as shit, got dementia, and he got the law on his ass. He don't look good next to anybody, and I'm sure knowing him, he'll die wanting that business to still stand to, I guess, carry out his legacy whether he's there or not. Obviously he's not in the right position to be thinking for himself business wise. Can't do it. um I don't put it past people to use him. And they probably should. Somebody needs to take over that business. Someone needs to take over it or profit off of it. Someone that is sane. So I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah. But what do you think?
I think that this has always been a plan. It has always been the plan. Um, I don't think it's a matter of Vince McMahon being old, because even though he is old, he is very much in shape and he
In
is mentally
shape.
sharp.
Did you not see the lawn
However,
chair selling
huh?
from Stone Cold like 2 manias ago? In shape.
Yeah, but simultaneously, it's like because of his age, for someone his age, he's in shape. I'll put it that way. But I think that I think this is beyond age, though. This is about behavior. This is about patterns. This is about accusations. This is about NDAs. Like when you pay more in NDAs than you do acquiring another wrestling company and its intellectual property, bro, you out of pocket.
Hmm.
You paid more. You paid more to these girls you was doing whatever with than you paid for WCW and
That's a
ECW.
fact.
You could throw Impact Wrestling in there. It still wouldn't cost the amount of money that you would have put out in NDAs. So I think that because of that, he's a risk. I think that it's because of that. And it's also because we see that even under the Triple H leadership, even though obviously that's a work in process creatively, this man is setting record after record after record when it comes to premium live event stuff, when it comes to records, when it comes to attendance, when it comes to merchandise. Whatever him and Nick Khan got going on is working, right? And then in addition to that, like anytime Vince kind of butts his head in creatively, it kind of seems like
I don't mean to laugh,
it
bro,
kind of
but
seems
like when your voice shake, it sounds like Ricochet in that one video when he was defending why he's bald.
I keep forgetting you also don't like bald people. So let me bring my voice down an octave to make myself more respectable.
No,
Um
it's what you think.
but But I also feel like because Triple H, like Vince has been known to kind of butt his head in to the creative decisions that impact Raw and they don't necessarily have a resonating effect positively, that also makes him a risk. So I feel like it's not even about his age per se, as much as it is his behavior, his pattern of intrusivity, his pattern of doing unethical things and then trying to cover it up. Those are things and pieces of information and articles of news that you as an investor don't want to come into contact with. So I think that that's the reason why he's considered a risk, and I think that TKO is getting rid of Vince. I think they've always wanted to get rid of Vince. I don't think they've ever wanted Vince in the picture unless it was a matter of buying the company from him. They knew they needed his approval. They got his approval, and now they are finessing him out of whatever left he has of the company. So that's what I think. But I want to know what y'all think. Do you think that TKO is getting rid of Vince? Let us know in the comments below. But we are going to move on. So, uh, in addition to that, and on the flip side of that, on the back side to that, it seems like WWE has officially announced another partnership, but this time it's with the Big 12 Conference. If y'all don't know what that is, the Big 12 Conference is a major NCAA Division One conference, and this partnership would entail a belt, a WWE belt for the Big 12 Superstar of the Year. This belt will be presented by a WWE superstar, and along with this, there will be exclusive Big 12 and WWE merchandise and WWE superstars hosting pregame hospitality events. So I know you don't know that much about football. I don't know that much about the Big 12. What do you make of this newly formed partnership? Do you think it's beneficial for WWE? Do you think it's beneficial for the Big 12?
I mean, it's not their first time like mixing it up and dabbling with like football and stuff, but I feel like it'd be good. I feel like it'd be really good for cross branding and promoting. You can even grab like a superstar that maybe had like a football background of some sorts and use it for like presenting the belt or maybe creating an ad for presenting the belt. Like I could see them running like little commercials in between the show with somebody that has like a familiar background, and that'd be really cute too. By the way, if they wanted to like bring up a superstar that could announce their background, say I used to play for blah 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 in college or whatnot, or I used to play for this team, I feel like that'd be really really cute for them to promote it. So it's not just apples and oranges collaborating with one another. Like I feel like it'd be really cool to really integrate it into whatever they do over there because a bitch don't know nothing about no football. But I can see it working for cross branding circumstances. So I think it's cool. It's cute. It works. I'm interested. What do you think?
I think this is a great partnership. I think that obviously this is going to do a lot for the Big 12 as much as it does for WWE. We've seen WWE kind of pop their heads out, when it comes to Super Bowl celebrations, when it comes to Stanley Cup situations, NBA Finals, and how all these teams get these celebratory belts. So the fact that they are exclusively doing something for this conference, I think speaks volumes because I think that pro wrestling is still very much a part of pop culture. But I want you to also consider this. I feel like this is a part of WWE's long term plan to have people in their NIL system, the next in line program that WWE established a couple of years ago to help college students become a part of the WWE. By WWE partnering with the Big 12, they're going to be interfacing with all these college football players. By the way, staggering stat, the percentage of football players that go to the NFL, the percentage of college football players that go to the NFL is about 1.6%. 1.6. So you have a large chunk of athletes
Wow.
that are probably not going to be headed to the NFL or headed professional or headed to any professional football league, but that doesn't mean that they can't find value elsewhere. And we've seen multiple guys that were former college football players make the leap into the WWE, one of those being the current reigning defending WWE Universal Champion, former Georgia Tech player, Roman Reigns. So there is obviously a relationship between college football and the WWE already. And now with the NLI program, the NIL program in place, I feel like this partnership is not only going to continue the push of WWE going mainstream, but also going uh, to intensify the pipeline of college athletes going from college to the WWE. So I think it's just a great idea all around. But I want to know how y'all feel about this. How do y'all feel about this WWE Big 12 partnership connection? Let us know in the comments below. But of course, per usual, we're moving on. So, in addition to that, we got some news earlier today, Thursday, November 16th, that the WWE International Premium Live Event streak will continue because WWE announced WWE Backlash France, which will take place on May 4th from the LDLC Arena. Mo, I need to know, how do you feel about a WWE Premium Live event and the first one after WrestleMania going international?
That's pretty awesome though. I feel like they've done some big business in that one time they went to Europe, because now it's just like back to back to back. We're hearing that they're going to be joined with another country from Europe. So honestly, that's pretty awesome, and I hope they start making their way east. You know what I mean? It's not their first
Mm-hmm.
time they went out of the continent. It's just that it's probably like one of their first few times they went out of the continent for a pay-per-view. So it's cool, it's great. Again, you're gaining more. Not that they didn't have fans, they obviously did have fans, but I mean you're bringing wrestling around the world, and I feel like it's about time because they're a huge company. They kind of should have been do this done this before. Wow, my grammar stuck right there. Wow. They should have been done this before. um and I think it's awesome. I'm just interested in knowing how they're going to promote a show for France. So, what do you think
Mm.
about it, and how do you think that they're going to promote it for France? Like, yeah, do you think they would have like a leading superstar? Do we have any French superstars?
I'm pretty sure that we have French superstars, but to be honest, Backlash, at this point, I feel like WWE, especially, I feel like there's certain shows that kind of sell themselves or have the potential to sell themselves, especially internationally. I think that Backlash is one of those events, right? Because Backlash historically has always been known as the fallout of
Right.
WrestleMania, right? So if you have not attended
You should.
WrestleMania and you want to get your WrestleMania breadcrumbs without leaving your beloved continent, here's your time. Here's your time to get a WrestleMania miniature experience, and you just got to go to France. And on top of that, I feel like because of all of the special shows they're doing around the world, because they're doing Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia, it's like this is just kind of one of those unique experiences that is specifically tailored to the country that they're going to be in. So I'm very, very excited. I think that they don't need a leading superstar, but I expect there to be a lot of firepower because this is the first show after Mania, which means that either the feuds are just closing or they're about to close.
Hmm.
So I'm eager to see what happens. I think that whoever wins the main event at WrestleMania is going to be the face of WrestleMania Backlash. Um, I want to know. Um, do you think that Imperium would have any type of involvement at Backlash, considering that we just found out that apparently Gunther has some travel restrictions
Wait,
regarding
why would
his
I affect
citizenship?
Gunther? I don't get it.
I think they said that like when hold on, I'm gonna look it up, but there was something that I read allegedly, uh, where Gunther couldn't travel for like 6 months. Yeah, it says Gunther can't leave the United States for the next 6 months due to residency regulations. He'll only be allowed to wrestle in the United States. This would effectively
Mm.
keep him off of. I'm reading this off of Yahoo.com, by the way. Due to the restrictions, this would effectively keep him off the Elimination Chamber card in Perth, Australia, in February 2024. WWE is also headed to Germany for Bash in
You told me
Berlin
he
in
missing
August, which
Berlin?
is after the residency restrictions
He's
have
missing.
lifted. Okay, so I think he may be there. He's not. He no no no. He'll be able to do Berlin. It's 6 months from I think November, so it's now until
Oh, he
I
lit.
guess you can
He
say like
good.
May,
He's good.
like
He's
or
good.
December until
No, he
May, or
has
like
to be.
November
I feel
until
like
April.
they want to work with
So he
Gunther, and
good.
I feel
Yeah,
like
he's straight.
Imperium is the perfect setup to go all the way the fuck around every country in Europe if they wanted to. Not saying they have to go over every single time. I'm saying like that's just it's going to get a big major pop. I'm not sure which one in there is French. One of them has to be right. Someone in that lineup gotta be French. 5%. At least something to get a pop.
Yeah,
That because WWE lives for that. They live for the hometown pops. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah. I forgot where I was going with this. It looked like you want
they
to say
do.
something. The one with the poodle.
I expect a remember Renee Dupree.
That was
Imagine if
lit. I missed
yeah, the one
that
with the
nigga. Oh my
poodle. Imagine
god.
if he came back. I miss Rene Dupree. He was so good. But I don't see any like leading superstar. I just feel like the leading superstar would be whoever wins
Wait,
the main
Cody with
event
that
or the
guy? But
main
no, is Cody
events
wearing?
at
No, no, he's wearing like an
WrestleMania
American
40.
looking outfit.
I don't
I don't
want
know
to get
why in
too
my
deep.
head his outfit, his little coat reminds me of London or some shit. It had a right,
It's all red, white, and blue. All the colors are all red, white, and blue. So all the like
right.
even when he wears American colors, it's gonna look like the colors of like 10 other countries. It's gonna look like England. It's gonna look like
Puerto
France.
Rico,
It's gonna look like I don't even
but
know Puerto Rico. It's gonna look
he's
like
racially fluid though.
it's
I feel
gonna look
like
like
Cody
who else got a red,
be
white, and
fitting
blue
for
flag?
anything. I mean, he came to Puerto Rico and everyone accepted him as a Puerto Rican that day. Like honestly, he is. He is. But he was Puerto
Cuban. I
Rican
forgot
for
the
that day. He
Cuban
was in
flag.
Puerto
He's
Rico. So
also part
honestly, Cody's
Cuban.
gonna get a big
Yup.
pop. Imperium's gonna get a big pop. Yeah, I can see it being lit. I can see the promotions being lit, the ads being lit. I hope they do some shots around France. Like they just start like maybe for like the week of it or some shit leading into it. I hope they start doing some fun. Yeah, it's like I need some segments in France.
We
That's
need
what I meant to
segments.
say.
Yeah,
But yeah,
we need segments.
but can you see the? I can see the New Day
Segments
being
in
in France
France.
too.
It's like niggas in France, but segments.
Yes,
But that would be hilarious. We need the New Day in France. We need the New Day in France. But let us know in the comments below about how y'all feel about Backlash being in
yes,
France. I feel like this is going to be great, but we're going to be moving on. So that leads us to our full gear predictions. Ba-ba-ba-ba. This is going to be so much fun. We got a bunch of matches. It looks like a stat card. Full gear will be emanating from the Kia Forum this Saturday or Sunday. Saturday. Saturday, it's emanating from the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California. And there's a bunch of great matches. So let's get right into it. So starting from the bottom of the card, we have Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho versus the Young
I'm
Bucks.
very
Who do we
bored of the
have?
Young Bucks. I want anyone but the Young Bucks to win. I'll take Chris Jericho and who? Yeah, give me that over the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks be boring the shit out of
Chris
me.
Jericho and Kenny Omega. I think considering after this past week and their kind of like little heel turn that they did, I feel like the Young Bucks are going to get a victory. They're going to get a cheap
Okay.
victory, and this feud is going to continue on. So I'm going to go with the Young Bucks on this one. Moving on to the second match, we have Sting Darby Allen and Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage, Luchasaurus,
Oh,
and
that's
Nick
gonna be a
Wayne.
really good
Who do we have?
match. This gonna be their first
It
pay per view
is.
together.
I think this is going to be the first.
I feel
Yeah, I
like you
think this is going to
have
be
to
the
put them
first
over because isn't the
pay per
goal
view
to
where
break
they're all
Christian
together.
and Adam Copeland up? Like that's basically gonna be our first feud. Yeah, you're gonna have to give them some W's. Sting has done a lot. Sting and
I
Darby has
think
done
so.
enough. They could afford this little little L right now. So I'm gonna go with Adam and Mr. Christian. Sorry.
No, Adam, Darby Allen, and Sting are on the same. It's a 6-man tag. So it's
Okay,
Edge,
well I'm
Darby, and
against
Sting
Adam
versus
Copeland
Christian,
because of the
Luchasaurus, and Nick
obvious. So
Wayne.
I'm on whatever team Christian's on.
I'm weak. I'm gonna go with Adam. Adam's team. I'm gonna go with Adam, Allen, and Sting because it's very, very clear that we are on Sting's retirement tour, and I think they're just gonna continue to rack up victories on his behalf before he
Hmm.
goes out in the blaze of glory. So I'm gonna go with Sting, Darby Allen, and Adam Copeland. Next match, for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, we have MJF and a mystery partner, who some say may be Samoa Joe, versus the
I
Guns.
wanted
Who
to
do we
be
have?
Samoa Joe so badly, so badly, but I'm gonna go with MJF. Same, yeah, I'm gonna say MJF.
I was gonna say I was saying Samoa Joe may be his mystery partner, but I'm gonna go with the Guns. I think that the Guns are going to beat MJF and whoever his mystery partner is
Hmm.
because I feel like it's about time that they get some championship gold around their waist. So I'm gonna go with the Guns. The next match is Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page. This to me is going to be the match of the night. I'm very much looking forward to this match.
I
Who do we
mean,
have?
last
Swerve or
night
Hangman?
I'm pretty sure Hangman just threatened to steal this man's weed. Not Swear's weed, but what's his name's weed? He yes, he was out here. He was over here making threats, very serious
Nana.
threats. Okay,
Nana's weed.
Swerve's gonna have to handle that. A, but B, I really feel like it needs to be Swerve's actual time, like actual time. I feel like we're in the era of Swerve, so yeah, I'm
Hmm.
gonna go with him.
I'm gonna go with Swerve too. I feel like this is an opportunity for him to have a star making moment. I think that Wrestle Dream was a star making moment, but I feel like this is a victory that would legitimately put him in world title contention. So I'm gonna go with Swerve on this one. So I'm gonna go with Swerve beating Hangman Adam Page. On to the next match for the AEW International Championship. Orange
Didn't
Cassidy
they fight
versus
like
John Moxley. Who do we have?
many times?
They did, but remember, John Moxley got injured in a match, or I think somebody else. I think Ray Phoenix got injured in the match with John Moxley, or somebody got injured. But I feel like this is something that was supposed to happen later down the line, but because of injuries and stuff like that, it's happening a lot sooner than a lot of people thought it would happen. Um, but I'm gonna go with Orange Cassidy. I feel like they're gonna continue to keep the belt on him.
Yeah, I don't care for
I
this
don't think they're
match. It
gonna
could go
play hot
either way,
potato
but
between
I'm
OC
gonna
and
go with
John
you.
Moxley. So I'm gonna go with OC. Bet. Orange Cassidy. Now we have the AEW TBS Championship match where it will be Chris Statlander versus Julia
I
Hart
don't see
versus
Julia
Sky
Hart doing a
Blue.
damn
Who do we
thing.
have in this match?
Sky Blue, didn't she put on a good match last night with Red Velvet? I feel like they've been trying to nudge Sky Blue into feeling important, even though I have my reservations about Miss Sky Blue. But my heart wants Chris Statlander. I feel like they want to give Sky Blue an opportunity, so I'm gonna go with Sky Blue.
Hmm. I'm gonna go with. I'm actually gonna go with Julia Hart. I feel like this is a great way. She obviously is still red hot. I think that people weren't necessarily happy that she lost her title opportunity to Chris, but I feel like this is a good way of her winning the
Okay.
title possibly and keeping Chris strong by pinning Sky Blue. So I'm gonna go with Julia Hart on this one. So that's my pick on that.
I
Next,
feel
we
like
have the
with the way
AEW
Tony
Women's
has been
Championship
working her
match
ass off with his character,
between
I would
Sheeta
not
and
be
Tony
mad
Storm.
seeing
Who do
her
we have?
dethrone Cheetah. Like she, to me, is like the hardest working woman currently for AEW, and I love what she's doing with this character. So I want to see what she does with some gold with this diluted, amazing 40s, 50s character that she created. Yeah, yeah.
I agree. I think that she is actually the best women's character in wrestling today. I think that her character work is phenomenal. I think that she should hold the belt as this version of herself. So I'm gonna go with Tony Storm, and I really hope that Tony Storm wins. So now we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. We have Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus La Fascion
I'm
Ingobernable
always gonna be
versus
Team Ricky because
FTR
I'm
versus
biased
Malachi Black and
at
Brody
all times.
King. Who do we have?
At all times. Yeah. You good over there?
Hmm.
I was like, why are you scratching himself like that? All right. Who's your pick?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just scratching myself. I'm gonna go with Ricky and Big Bill. I think Ricky and Big Bill have had a pretty solid run. Um, I think it's gonna be a great match, but yeah, I just see Ricky and Big Bill taking it. So there's that. And then now for the main event,
I'm a
we have
little bored of
MJF
MJF's title run.
versus Jay
To be honest,
White for the
I'd
AEW
be perfectly fine
World
if Jay White took
Championship.
over. I
Who
feel
do we
like we
have?
would have a really fun title run with Jay White. But I just don't know how Jay White's gonna go over. I feel like it needs to be some sabotaging
Mm.
of some sorts, and that's the part that I don't know how it's gonna happen. But who's your pick, and how you think it's gonna play out? Hmm.
I actually think that MJF is gonna win, but I think we're gonna find out who the devil is at Full Gear. I don't know who it is, but I feel like at the end of that match, the devil is gonna reveal himself
Mm.
as either the next challenger for the
Okay,
AEW
fair,
World
fair enough.
Championship or somewhere that's gonna be in that queue. But I feel like he's gonna reveal himself, and I think it's gonna be great. But I'm gonna go with MJF. But that concludes our predictions for AEW Full Gear. Um, we don't know if we're doing a space yet. We're gonna figure that out. But in the meantime, let us know in the comments who you feel is gonna win at AEW Full Gear. And that concludes our show for today. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and tapping in with us. And we'll see y'all next week. Ooh.